Hello, everyone. It is Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Of course, tomorrow is Halloween, which just happens to be one of the favorite days of the year, if not the favorite day of the year in this household. So this is a time of the season that we really, really enjoy. And I haven't done a video the last couple of weeks because, as everybody knows, sometimes life gets in the way, and that's what happened with me. But now I'm kind of through the clear on that, and we are going to talk comics with some of the most recent pickups the last couple of weeks that I have. And then there is the library show next weekend. I'm getting a lot of questions about that, so we're going to answer a couple of those questions and then touch bases on a couple of topics that are, kind of dominating the world of comic books right now. So we're going to do that. So let's start talking about some books, shall we? I know everybody's missed these, and I've missed doing them. So thank you for holding out for me. First one up, one of the books that we discussed on this channel, of course, Stray Dogs being a hot title that it is. Red Dynamite did a couple of Stray Dog covers. Here's Red Sonja with the stray dogs right there around her. And then for that Halloween feel, we have Army of Darkness, 1979. Of course, the famous pose from Army of Darkness, the movie. But that's a really cool looking cover right there. Another book we discussed on this channel from Titan Comics was a book called Gun Honey, which I kind of described as a female James Bond. I've read the first two issues. It's really good, but these are a couple of the #1 issues that did really well. This is one of the covers here. And then, of course, the reason it drew my attention to this storyline was the Adam Hughes cover for #1. This did not disappoint. This sold out very quickly in all the shops that it was at. There was that there, as far as a couple of earlier books that we didn't get a chance to discuss. And then some of the books we picked up the last couple of weeks. First one up is Inferno #2. Really nice Emma Frost cover from Marvel. That's just a beautiful, beautiful cover right there. One of the other titles I enjoyed, I was looking forward to, of course, The Long Halloween, the Batman special. There's that right there. Really, really good storyline. Of course, like most collectors and most Batman fans, The Long Halloween is probably one of the best Batman storylines that they've ever produced. And so I was really looking forward to that issue right there, or this story. It's a one-shot. Long Halloween right there. Book that came out this past week. This is Pop Star Assassin. Little Elvis action right there. I thought was pretty funny. Of course, Elvis was known to love his weapons, so it's kind of, nice that he had a gun on him right there. And then this is kind of a Grindhouse style poster, early 70s poster. This is Pop Star again, Pop Star Assassin. This is the cover B. And the reason I like this cover, you got Bruce Lee right there. Steve McQueen. I don't know if that's supposed to be Marilyn. It shouldn't, because, of course, Marilyn was dead long before this poster happened. And then I'm going to assume that was one of the, I can't think of her name right now, very famous actress in the 70s. I have a lot of the movies. She did things like Foxy Brown, just really good movies like that. So there was that. Ice Cream Man, #26. One cover here. And this cover I wasn't real wild about. It didn't really do a whole lot for me, but I picked one up anyways. Book that sold really, really well. This is from Black Caravan. This is Swamp Dogs, House of Crows. This sold out very quickly. It's most of the shops. I am looking forward to reading that there. And then also from Black Caravan, Phantom Stark Killer. This is, I believe, a 3rd print, if I'm not mistaken. 4th print. But this is a glow-in-the-dark, and that kind of reminds me of like a Skeletor right there. Really, really cool cover, but the glow-in-the-dark, a little nichey, but you know what? I like glow-in-the-dark covers. One of the big books that came out, well, another one of the ones that came out independent-wise, Aftershock, Cross to Bear. This is another one that sold pretty good. Looking forward to reading this one here. And then, of course, Mr. McFarlane, attacked with his King Spawn, 3rd issue. This is really big. This was, I'm assuming, this kind of reminded me of like a Batman homage right here. There's a gargoyle standing up, although, Batman was on the gargoyle itself, but still really, really cool image right there. Really like that one. And then, of course, the kid handing him the crown was another one that I thought was really good. But my favorite one for number 3 was the Ice Cream Man homage right there. Love this cover. Thought this was a really good cover. You can see Spawn hanging right there from his porch. Superheroes, Wonder Woman, Batman, Captain America. He's handing him some candy. Got the knife in the background. Really cool cover right there. Like that a lot. There is going to be another cover with the clown as your villain. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. And I think that is going to be Spawn 325, if I'm not mistaken. Spawn 325 is what that one's going to be. And then, of course, the big release this week, House of Slaughter from Boom Studios, of course, offshot to Something is Killing the Children. I read it. I liked it. A lot of covers on this, though, so you had to be really careful with the covers that you picked. This was another cover here. This was a 1 in 25 variant, but there, if you can see it, there were so many covers ordered, though. You can kind of see the 1 in 25. I paid $10 for this, so the shininess, the foil cover on that, really cool cover. But I mean, if I can get a 1 in 25 on an issue that's going to be hot, that tells you how many were actually out there. But we mentioned that on the channel, that it's going to be a hot title and shops are going to order it very heavy. So a lot of the first issues, you know, they might have a little bit of value, but they're not going to have that long-term value like Something is Killing the Children had, because that flew under the radar with only some of the hardcore buyers getting it. And then, of course, the limited print run. This one had a big print run. And then there were 2 different covers. Here is a purplish blue cover for this. Again, sorry about the glare on that. And then they had a red one with a reddish tint. And then there was a blank, a virgin variant of this that I believe was 1 or 2 per store. So there was that. And that is what we got for the new books. Now, again, some of these books, you know, if you watch this channel, which most of you do, a lot of those were on my hot pick videos or things that I have mentioned over the time. And I'd even mentioned the fact that when it comes to Something that's Killing the Children, there's just going to be so many covers out there that there probably isn't going to be a big cost factor on that. So there was that. A couple of things we'll touch bases on. The shipping. Shipping has become a real big issue as it relates to Penguin Random House, who took over a lot of the diamond shipping for some of the storylines. But their shipping has been absolutely atrocious, to the point that a lot of shops and a lot of, you know, people who are ordering books are going back to diamond. They're trying to go back to their old shipping because Penguin Random House had an opportunity to move forward and take the, you know, the bull by the horns, as you would say, and really, you know, do a good job for the collectors, do a good job for the shops, because shops have a hard time selling books when they come in all damaged. Now, there is a lot of things that are happening recently. They're using real thin boxes with Penguin Random House, and a lot of their books, sometimes 25, 30, 35% of their books that are coming in are damaged. And Penguin really doesn't seem to care too much about that. Now, that's not good for the community. That's not good for the industry. So, you know, a lot of shops are going back, and there's been delays with shipping. They're talking about paper shortages, where there are supposed to be titles coming out with multiple covers, but they're only able to get 1 or 2 of the covers because they're talking about the paper shortages, which ultimately down the road is going to cause prices to go higher than what they already are. As we know on this, you know, on this channel, I'm not real wild about the $4.99, $5.99 and up price points. If it does continue to go up, if the companies are going to say, well, because of shipping delays and because of paper shortages and cardboard shortages, we're going to have to raise our prices, you're going to drive people right out of the industry. And that's bad when people cannot afford to buy books. Again, when I bought my first book, it was a 20-cent book. Now we're paying big money for books, and I don't want to hear about shortages. I want my books to come in real clean. I long for the days of being able to see what books came out when they were in the shop. You couldn't wait to go on the new comic book day and just see what was out on those, you know, magazine racks, or, you know, like you used to have at the old newsstands, and see, you know, what came out. Did your new Batman come out? In my case, it was always, you know, the Blitzkrieg book that I waited for. But again, there has to be changes. These companies have to start taking accountability for, you know, the way they do business, because the thought process of, I can just throw books in a box, you guys are going to take them regardless, that's not going to cut, and it's ultimately just going to hurt the industry, and it's going to hurt people that actually enjoy, not talking about speculators, but the people who enjoy collecting. So there was one topic there. The next topic we were going to talk about is, oh man, it just slipped my mind actually. It'll come back to me. So we'll jump to the next topic, which grading companies. When CGC went through their, situation where they were sold, and they were getting a lot of bashing because of the shoddy grading, the long delays in shipping. CBCS stepped up and kind of took the bull by the horns, like we stated with the shipping, and they started getting books graded faster, and they were doing good turnaround times. The grades were accurate. People liked the grading, and a lot of big, sellers and a lot of big collectors started transferring from CGC to CBCS. But now what has happened, like it happens with a lot of things, CBCS dropped the ball. Instead of hiring adequate staff to handle the increase in submissions, they've kind of stayed status quo, and now their delays are absolutely ridiculous. Now, you saw the graded books I sent for Something Is Killing the Children a while back. I sent some more books with a friend of mine for Something Is Killing the Children, #1 issues, a 6 print, the really hard to find #1 prints of First Silk, just to kind of see if CBCS is going to stay with their high standards. Now, these books were sent in May. They were accepted in May, and here we are at the end of October, and the book is just saying that it was received. And now they're talking about 22 to 25 weeks from receiving the book to getting the book out. That, you're talking 6-7 months to get your books back. CBCS, you dropped the ball. You had the opportunity to separate yourself from the rest of the herd, and you didn't. So I am giving you a big thumbs down as it relates to your customer service and the desire to get books out in a timely manner. And I don't want to hear about we have too many books. You need to hire people. If you can't handle business, if you can't handle your business growth, then you shouldn't be in the business. You should always have something there that states, we're here for the long haul. We're going to do something. Don't wait until you have, 20,000 books sitting there in a warehouse and you don't have people to grade those books, because all you're doing is making the owner of those books jealous. And as we know, or nervous, and as we know, the longer something sits, the more possibility of damage there is. So I will show those books as soon as they come back, whenever they come back. At the rate it's going right now, it'll be early next year, which is absolutely sad, because this was sent in by a shop. So they had a contract, they were sending a lot of stuff in, and they're getting screwed just like everybody else. So there was that. So there's a couple of little things there, nothing really big. I kind of rambled my words on. I, haven't really done a whole lot of things, but we will go to the next topic, which is the Library Comic Convention on Flamingo here in Las Vegas next Saturday, November 6th. I do have a table there. I have been working on things to get out there, and people always ask me what type of things I bring to shows. I bring a little bit of everything to shows. I have a different size customer base. Now, when you're doing a show like the library show, where they don't charge people to get in, there's going to be a lot of kids, a lot of families. You have to have books that match that price point. Now, when I say match the price point, a lot of books in the $1 to $10 range for people to go through. You also want to have, books in the $10 to $30 range or $40 range, because there's some good collectors there. And then, of course, books that are really hard to find, or really nice vintage books. And so I'm going to kind of show you the different tiers of things that I will show. Now, I have, a couple of dollar boxes I'm going to have. I have some recent books that have come out, more, current books. Again, falling in that price point that we had talked about. And then I have some things like this. These are all books that I'm going to be selling there. So here it is here. If you see the sticker up there, that's the price that they're going to be. And we'll talk about that in a second. And there's nice Avengers. Here is a Wonder Woman from 1967. Amazing Spider-Man from 1975. Mystery in Space. Tomb of Dracula. Adam and Hawkman. Again, these are just books that are you know, in Mylar, are vintage, well taken care of, different grade variations, anywhere from a 4.0 and up, because everybody wants different price points. This is from 1980. This is a Daredevil. It's probably more the more recent books you're going to find in that box. Here's one from 71, little Submariner. Book like this, Mylar. I got this as a Fine Minus, a $10 book. Why would you not buy that if you're trying to put a book together? Because again, my grading is such that my Fine Minus is probably a Fine Plus or Fine Very Fine. We have a really nice Avengers number, excuse me, 120, $15 book, really nice. Here's another Avengers. We have number 140. This was, first one was 120, this is 140. Again, another, $15 book. There's a $10 Submariner. Swamp Thing. $15 Action Comic from 67. Here's a Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen from 1965. This is a $35 book, but it's also graded an 8.0 by me. Looks really, really good. Again, it's in Mylar. You can see my painter's tape on the back. So that's one type of box. That's one box you'll find, long box, that you'll find with books this style in that box. And then you have what I kind of call the upper tier of books. And these are some of the upper tier books that you're going to have here. Here is, from 1965. We have Tales of Suspense. Of course, this is the first Silver Age origin Captain America. Not a high-grade book, but a very sought-after book. Next up, we have a nice Secret Wars, number 8. This is a very high-grade book right here. Again, first black suit, doesn't need to be, mentioned any more than that. Low-grade copy of Batman, number, I think it's 237. This is the first Reaper right here. Low-grade copy right here, but an affordable copy of a high key. Here's one that's going to go very quickly, of course. Here is a Thor number 1 from 2014. Of course, Jane Foster becomes the new Thor. And this is another one that I graded 9.6 plus. So it's going to be closer to a 9.8. So there's that there. Again, these are books that are a little bit more expensive. These are books that not anybody can just go thumb through. We will talk about that as well. Here's another book that I'll do very well. High grade of the Batman 423. Of course, the classic McFarlane. There is a statue coming out with that style of cape, looking well. And this book sells really well raw, so this is going to get a good price. And I'll mention that in a second. Next couple of books here we have an Avengers 15. Of course, not a high-grade version, but this is, Death of Zemo. This is also Kirby cover and art, and it's a lower grade, it's a lower numbered Avengers, number 15 on that. Here's Amazing Spider-Man number 8, of course, the famous drug, one of the drug issues, drug story that was not approved by the Comic Code. This is also very well, sought after. It's another clean copy again, all Mylar. These styles here are in the halfback. This is the halfback ones because these are bigger books. I protect them a little bit differently. This is Sad Sack and Sarge. This is number 6, and this is an 8.5. Now, there is a specialty for this. A lot of people consider these as more cartoony books, but there is a big market for books like this in a high grade. So there's a good example there. Good old Sad Sack. Here's a nice Amazing Spider-Man upper grade 7.5, number 54. An X-Men number 21, 6.5. X-Men 23, 5.5. X-Men 52, this is an 8.0. This is the first Eric the Red and Origin of the Beast, so semi-key right there. And then, of course, a book that sells very well. This is an 8.5. This is Batman 475, of course, Jokerfish right there. Beautiful cover. More of a recent book, 1978, more recent than a lot of these that were there, but, still very, very sought after book. So those are some of the books you're going to get, with me. at this show. And the reason I say that is because I get a lot of questions about what I'm going to bring, what I'm looking to get, and, you know, what are my discounts going to be? Well, you don't get a lot of discounts on high, you know, on older key books or high grade, you know, Silver Age books, because the thought process from a lot of people is, well, since you're in at a library show, they should be 50% off or 60% off, or you don't have a shop. So why are you trying to sell your book before the shop sells the book? Just because you don't have a shop, or just because it's a local show, a small local show, doesn't mean you shouldn't get fair market value for your books. Some books, you know, have a, you know, you get more money for it. The guide is the guide. We've talked about that 1,000 times. If the guide says, you know, this book is $50 in a certain condition, but it's a, you know, high grade, you know, Amazing Spider-Man or a Batman, good luck trying to find that for $50, because you're always going to get a premium for books that have a higher grade. You're going to have premium for books that are like Golden Age. I'm also going to have some Golden Age books. I'm also going to have some slabbed books that I have, like I stated. I guess I can show you, because some of you probably didn't see these when I did it. Give me 1 second. These were some of the books that we had, that I had graded as, you know, the test that the guy told me to get some books graded. Here's that there. That's, of course, is a Something Is Killing the Children. And this is a second print Something Is Killing the Children. All 9/8, because I take super, super good care of my books. And to show you that I take good care of my books, these are some of the other books that might be available. I don't know, but these are going to be premium books. These are going to be books that you're going to have to pay for. First one up, Headline Comics from 1947, 6.0. I actually had somebody send me, you know, an email once that when I showed these originally, and they said, you know, oh, I thought you were supposed to be high grade, but here you are showing 6.0 books. Now, these are 6.0 books from the 40s. Let's say you get 6.0 books from the 40s, especially some of these covers. 1945, Boy Comics. This is a concentration camp storyline, 6.0. Again, another book that I have not decided whether or not I'm going to put up for sale. I might be feeling generous and let someone have a nice Golden Age book. 2 more books I'm going to show. First one up is Jumbo Comics. This is number 122 from 1949, is it? 49, 6.0. Again, for pre-code, Golden Age, especially from the 40s, 6.0 grades are really, really good, because a lot of the higher grade stuff are finding itself already in, you know, private collections. And these are books that get premiums because you don't see a lot of grade 6 up, you know, 6 and up. And then, of course, maybe the big granddaddy of the books I might be offering is a Crack Comics number 42 from 1946. This is an 8.5. Look at the color on that book. Excuse me. Just had lunch. Nice 8.5 right there. Again, books that you're going to have to pay a premium for to get. So some of these books, like these books here, are just not going to be out for people to finger. The first group, you know, the tier 1 books I showed you will be in boxes that you can go through. The tier 2 will not. Tier 2 will be books that I will allow some people to go through if they ask, because I'm going to stand there when they go through them. Because unfortunately, people do not take care of your product. And when you say something to them, they get all upset about, oh, you know, you're so picky about your books. Anybody who does this for a living or sells or is thinking about opening something, you want people to take care of your product and your merchandise. Why do I want you going through my books and then bending them as you're looking at them? Because sometimes, I don't think I have a book here. We can use this, though, as a thing. You're going through books, and I've seen people go through books, say you're facing this way, and they take the book halfway out and they do this to look at it. They'll sit up there and they'll be like, oh, that's a pretty nice looking book. And then next thing you know, they're taking it halfway out from the box and they're kind of bending it to look at the cover. Why do I want you to do that to the books? You've just put a spine crease on that book, and now the book that was a 9 is now probably an 8, depending on the severity of the spine damage that you just gave it. So I don't allow everybody to touch the books. I have books out there that people can go through. And the one thing I like is that the people who buy from me understand that, and they appreciate that. That's why they come to me. And the ones that I let look through the books know they're going to take care of the books, because they're serious collectors. Okay, it's not some, you know, if you put these out in a box for people to look at, I guarantee you it's going to be that family who has, you know, the kids that are going to be, oh, it's Batman, oh, it's this, it's that, and they start shaking it, and, can I have this book, please? And they just lay it on the table, and they walk away. I don't want that, okay? Because not everybody's going to have stuff like this. You're going to have people who do, you're going to have people who don't. I take care of my stuff. So if you're coming out there, this is how I do it. The more recent books, I price and box. I don't put them in order. I want people to stay at the table and go through the books, because you're going to find really, really good books in every box. You just have to take the time to look at it. Now, some people, I've had people tell me, well, if you don't, take the time to put your books in alphabetical order, that I don't have the time to stop. Okay, well, don't stop. Someone else is going to take the time to go through the books, knowing that they're going to find good quality, high quality books that are well protected, well taken care of, and perfect for their collection. If you don't want to stop and do that, then I don't do that. The other reason you don't do that is because when you do a show like this, the idea is to keep people at your table. If a person's collecting Batman and he just walks up and looks at the Batman real quick and walks away, he hasn't looked at the other 9 boxes of stuff that you have, that he might find things that he wants. So you make people stay and go through the books. I don't have a problem doing that. And the people who buy from me don't have a problem with it either. So there's that. So again, this convention is next Saturday, November 6th. It starts at, I think, 10 o'clock. Oh, I have the flyer right here. That's what I use as my thing. It is 9:30 to 4:30 at the Clark County Library. It is the 13th annual Vegas Valley Comic Book Festival. And I will have a table set up. You look for my banner right there. It's going to be hanging from the little tent they have you at. And I'm going to have a lot of people there. Stop by, buy some books, or don't buy some books. Stop by, say hello. I always like talking to people, and you can stop and look. I am also going to have, I don't know if you can see it, it's right back here, is a 1 through 13 complete first print high grade run of Batman the Long Halloween. All 13 issues, all in high grade. Very, very popular storyline, and always in high demand because people always want to buy a nice set. That's a very high grade set that I have, so I look forward to you coming out and seeing if you want to buy those. So again, that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. I do apologize for not being able to do videos the last couple of weeks, but like I said, sometimes life happens and life happened. So that's all we have. I do look forward to seeing everybody next week if you're coming out. So with that said, I hope you liked the video, but as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great day. Have a safe Halloween, and I'll see you real soon.